All right, guys, welcome back to Crunch Time, the show where you get the best NBA DFS picks each and every day. 10-game slate here on a Friday. Joined as always with chrissair DFS. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm excited for the slate as always. How about you?
Yeah, I think we have a pretty big one. Friday, always bigger. So, yeah, I'm excited as well.
Yeah, 10 games here. Let's get into the success then. Wanted to ask, are you going to play basketball today, Chris? Got some good weather here. Although it looks like it might rain.
I don't know. We have a pretty big slate, lots of scattered start times, so I'm not sure yet.
Got it. Before we do the success, let's see what we got here. Brent is in here. What's up, Brent? He says, you know what today is? Friday. The flex emoji. Let's go. Hasty running some errands for his wife says hopefully he'll be back before the show is over. Good luck to all the crunchers. Deshaun in here. He says 12 more minutes till Chris locks in THJ.
Hardaway Jr.?
Yeah.
Are we getting some news from the Mavs, like Luka out or something?
We're getting news from Deshaun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
What does he know that you don't know, that we don't know? I guess we'll see. Royal King in here as well. What's up, guys? Yeah, let's go through the success. Not as quiet yesterday, Chris. So we have Nick here. First up, baseball. I feel like Nick's always here. Always makes the cut. Always on some type of sport or slate where he wins. He's always here. But yeah, 92 into 182 baseball main slate over on DK for him. And then turn and burn right beneath him, 595 into 852 DK main slate baseball action over there. The Nick over here, this is some pucks action, 25 to 50 over on DK. Solid stuff. More Nick action over here. What did he do? Basketball single game slate, Battle of LA. 15 to 25, and then main slate over on DK 7 to 21. Turn and burn here. This is a nice one. 544 into $1,230. Main slate NBA on DK, and then this is the night slate. 348 into $728 over there. So nice night for turn and burn there. Deshaun up next. Let's see this one. $30 into 56. Let's run it like that. Solid stuff out of Deshaun. T-Bay over here made the cut again. $5 into $10 over on FanDuel main slate there. Do you think T-Bay's ever going to do some DK stuff, Chris?
Probably not. I think he's just FanDuel.
Just a FanDuel guy. Yeah, then we have you over here. What did you do? $1,486 into $2,827. Solid stuff over here on DK main slate. Rondo over here, he did baseball single game slate, NHL main slate, baseball after hours slate. Wait, so does he actually do like all the single slates for baseball, NHL, NBA?
I don't know. Ask him.
Rondo, do you do all the slates? Like, how do you do this? Like for NBA today. So for NBA, there's 7 slates on FanDuel. On DK, there are 6, 8, 9, 10 slates, I think. 10 slates on DK. So you do all of these for both sites, and then you do the same thing for NHL, and then the same thing for baseball and every other sport. That sounds difficult. How do you do all that? What's the secret, Chris?
It probably is difficult.
Yeah, I mean, because like a lot of them also lock at the same time, like 7 p.m. I mean, these are pretty close, not that close, but these are the same time. Oh, like a lot of them overlap with the lock time, so I don't know. It's hard, especially like if you're editing your CSV file, multi-entry, that takes up even more time. Actually, I'm not even sure. Does that take more time or single lineup? I'm not sure. Both the same probably, but still, it's insane. How does he do it? Let's add some emojis using the shift click, Chris. That's a good trick, by the way. If you hold shift, you can add multiple.
Easier, right?
Oh, it's so much easier. I've been adding so many more emojis lately. I don't know if you've seen, but it's so much easier. I used to do it one by one. It took so much time. Yeah. Do I have your contest links? DK FanDuel. Yeah, let me open those up. Open. Okay, so yeah, this is your DK here. Let's go over your FanDuel first because you didn't post there. So you won here, but you didn't post. So what happened, Chris?
Yeah, so it was kind of weird. Like GBPs and double ups hit, 50-50s didn't hit, so I ended up breaking even. That's kind of weird when that happens. I think Corey Joseph was very chalky in 50-50s. A bunch of trains had him. He obviously went for 50. You can see it on the right side. I think it was 4.7K. So yeah, that was kind of hurtful, but I like the build here a lot. Can you just scroll down a little bit so we can see Looney?
Yep.
Yeah, so I had Curry here. Obviously, that game blew out. We were kind of talking about that. If it blew out, it would be because of Curry. He got 50 here, 49. He didn't play the fourth quarter. He played like 2 minutes in the fourth quarter, then they pulled him. But it was like a 20-point game. He didn't do anything in his fourth quarter run, those 2 minutes, so didn't really help. So we only played 3 quarters pretty much. Still got 50. So, I was fine with that. Big thing, like I said, was at point guard with Corey Joseph. He went absolutely crazy. So that was kind of the worst thing on the slate for us because we didn't have him. Lou Dort, he had 4 fouls in the first half. He didn't play much. I think he only played 20 minutes. So that game didn't really help us with the guys we picked there. But like I said, it was still okay on both sides. These Toronto guys, they were very chalky. Stanley Johnson, just the last piece here, ended up going for 12. He was the minimum price, 5 points below value, but it doesn't really matter because he gets you everyone else that you want. So that was fine. I liked that play a lot. He was in foul trouble as well. Then Siakam, Stewart, I think they were the chalk at power forward, just easy plays there. And then Looney, last piece as well, went for 20. He was 4K, so exactly 5X there.
What are the Raptors doing, Chris? I'm so confused. Are they tanking? Or they were clearly trying to win the game yesterday, but then they're sitting all their guys. What are they trying to do here?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Lowry said that he's trying to, Lowry wants to sit out just so they can see what they have in their young guys. I think we got that quote yesterday out of him, so I'm not sure. I think they're trying to win, but I think Lowry sat out on his own.
Oh, so Lowry, he wants to see what the team has.
Yeah, I think they were discussing with Masai and a few other guys. There was a quote yesterday, but I don't know exactly what it said, but something like that.
Is Masai leaving?
I think so. I think his contract's up, but he has the other guy that he was grooming for the past, 5 years, 6 years. Their GM. I don't know his name. I think he's half Asian.
Yeah.
That guy's good as well. Huh?
Should he be? Do you think he'll be good?
Yeah, he is good. He runs the team pretty much.
Nice.
At this point.
Yeah. I think they can get a lottery pick or something. I don't know if that's accurate, but I remember reading if they drop below the play-in, they could get potentially a lottery pick.
Yeah, I think they do.
That'd be nice. They haven't had one in a while, I don't think so. I feel like that's probably worth more than the playoffs at this point for them, the play-in. But it would have been fun to see them as a Raptors fan in the play-in. But oh well. I think they can still make it if the teams above them lose every single game or something like that. But yeah. DK Chris over here, 1486, 2827. What was the secret here?
Not really any secret. But obviously Westbrook, he was easier to get here. He's chalk always on DK just because of the triple-double bonus. He's always a little cheaper here. So he's always 90% owned in DraftKings cash games. He didn't have a great game. He got into foul trouble. I think the OT actually helped him a lot because that game went into OT. So that also hurt FanDuel a little bit. But obviously he had a better score here on DK with the triple-double bonus on FanDuel. I think he went for 55. He was 11-6 there, so he didn't pay off his value. But he did here on DK. And then Fred VanVleet, Siakam, I think they were the obvious Raptors. Stanley Johnson as well for 3K at the bottom there. Just the last piece, just like FanDuel. Was able to get KD here with the other value guys. Aaron Holiday, he was starting obviously with no Sumner, no Brogdon, no Jeremy Lamb. So he was getting a lot of minutes. I thought he was a solid play. Cauley Stein, he was the last piece here. Went for 24. There's 1v1 between him and Okafor. I think Okafor went for 22.5. So not really a big difference there. Wouldn't have mattered if you picked either side. But yeah, Cauley Stein last piece here, 3K, went for 24, so that was great. KD was the spend up just after jamming in these value guys. He was easy to get to. I liked the spot a lot for him. Only went for 38. Kyrie was just on fire yesterday. Kyrie was doing everything for them. So KD kind of took a back seat. But, I mean, it still worked out, as we saw with the results. Still a solid lineup, I think. I like the construction a lot. Yeah, worked out.
You want to go over anybody else over here, Chris?
Let's see what fourth place has here, because that one looked like a little bit of a train. This one had Draymond, Bane. So this one had Kojo. Basically, Kojo went for 50 at 4.9K here. Obviously, didn't have him on either site. If he didn't go for 49, if he went for like 29, would have had a huge day on both sites. But he was a solid play. Like, he was popping up in probably 7 out of the top 10 teams on both sites. Just wasn't in the top team. So he was a solid play. They had Killian Hayes out. They had a bunch of guys out. So I did like him a lot. Just didn't land there at the end.
Okay. Chat, let's see. Royal King says we got to take a look at KCP putting Zubats on a poster.
I didn't see that.
We should get it. I think somebody in the Raptors game tried to put someone on a poster too, but it hit like the back of the rim or something. I don't remember who. But I was watching that game. That was a good game to watch. I was hoping the Raptors would win. They kind of choked at the end in the fourth. I don't know if you were watching that one, Chris. Did you?
Yeah, I saw a bit of it.
They were choking.
Yeah. So, I mean, they ended up losing. So I think that was a big game in terms of standings. We saw yesterday with the Wizards and the Raptors are I think they're 4 games apart now.
Yeah.
So I think the Raptors are out of it now.
Yeah, get that lottery pick. And then on that, Rondo says Raps should draft the next Andre Bargnani.
Yeah, was that their last top? What was he? Wasn't he first pick, second pick?
How do you spell his name?
Andrea. Yeah, Andrea.
How do you spell it?
Like that, Bargnani.
Bargnani. First overall pick?
Go to 2006 draft. Click on it. Kenny. Lowry was in that draft too. Kalo.
First overall. Wait, what? No. Wait, 2006.
Go to the URL.
My bad.
Change it to 2006.
First overall pick, Bargnani? Really? He's that good?
I mean, he didn't work out. I mean, look at these top 5. They all suck other than LMA. Brandon Roy, 6th. He would have been probably the best guy here if he didn't have those injuries. But, I mean, this looks like a pretty weak draft looking back at it. Rudy Gay had a pretty good career.
Cephalosha, exercise guy.
I mean, all these guys, who is Hilton Armstrong? Who is Patrick O'Brien? Sheldon Williams?
I mean, Rondo.
I mean, Rondo and Lowry are probably the best guys from this draft. Maybe LMA.
To be fair, looking at this draft, Chris, PJ Tucker, this is Paul Millsap, 47th.
Yeah, he was really good. You can probably look at win shares. So his is 94. Win share is a pretty good stat. No, to the left. Yeah, so LMA, Lowry, Millsap, Redick, Rondo, Gay.
To be fair, I feel like in this draft, Bargnani's probably wasn't a bad pick.
I mean, yeah, we saw the top 5 that didn't look too good.
You definitely could have done a lot worse than Bargnani. He was okay. Honestly, yeah, I was surprised to see him at number 1, but I guess that was probably one of the worst years to have the number 1 overall pick.
I mean, if they just went with LMA, who was 2nd, that would have been big because he's clearly the best player here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see what else we got. Rondo on playing all sites, all slates, every sport. He says it's stressful on both sites, all slates. Hair might turn full white or gray by the time I'm 25. I could see that. Can you see that? I could see it happening to him.
Missed opportunity right there. You see the turnover story early. Here's a drive. Caldwell Pope.
Can you do that?
Hammer it home.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was going to do that today on
Missed
you if we were going to go play.
right there. You see the turnover story early. Here's a drive. Caldwell Pope.
No, you would be Zoo.
Hammer it home. Wow. Missed opportunity right there. You see the turnover story early. Here's
nice. Is it nice?
Yeah.
Was Zoo...
See the turnover.
Zoo's kind of late. I mean, he's also not super athletic, is he?
No, he's a big guy.
Yeah, he's not gifted, or he is gifted athletically. Let's see. Deshaun says, "Why is Craig a good play on FanDuel?"
Is he a good play? I haven't seen him. I mean, I haven't considered him at all today. I mean, actually, maybe with Cam Johnson now, he's decent, but if he's still shooting guard, like I said, I haven't considered him at all. But we have Marcus Smart, we have Terry Rozier, both for 6'2". I love those guys there.
Let's see. Rondo says, him and DeMar. DeMar was nice. Chris Bosh, Raps legend. Rondo should have shown Rondo's yeah. What is that?
I can send it to you. You want me to send it to you?
Yeah, we can get into the slate after that.
Oh, by the way, what time are you going basketball?
Like 4:30?
Until when?
I can go later. Looks like it might rain though, but yeah.
There, I sent it to you.
I'm just going by myself right now. I have to pick up a team, or I'd be picked up by a team.
He is definitely taking shots.
He is a tough character. I'm part of those center threesome, that triplet at that position. And we haven't seen Gasol yet, but we plan to. We were told, Vogel told us he was going to play Gasol.
Yeah.
Outside, good looking. And we haven't seen Gasol.
Is he always doing that?
That triplet at that position. And we haven't seen Gasol yet, but we plan to. We were told, Vogel told us he was going to.
Why would he do that? That's something you would do, Chris, at basketball.
I don't know about that.
World King says you guys should live stream you guys balling.
Yeah, I mean, one day. Why not?
Yeah, you'd see Chris putting people on posters. Chris is crazy athletic. He's got bounce. It's like he's on a trampoline out there once he laces up. It's kind of crazy. Rondo says, ask Kevin Roth for Vancouver's weather report.
We can find it ourselves.
Jeez. We can find it ourselves. We don't need Kevin Roth. I was watching an interview with Kevin Roth talking about his meteorology in DFS. Apparently he didn't believe in it before.
Didn't believe in what?
He thought it was silly doing meteorology for DFS. He felt guilty.
Guilty?
Yeah, he was the trailblazer for meteorology and DFS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, 10-game slate here, Chris. 20 teams to choose from. So 10 games, 10 times 2, 20 teams. What's your favorite news here so far? We've had Deshaun with 2 crazy picks so far. I think his first one, Hardaway Jr. Second one, Torrey Craig. Torrey Craig? What Craig is it?
Torrey Craig, yeah.
Torrey Craig. Who do you like here?
I mean, it's a pretty spread out slate in terms of teams. There's no condensed spots. We have obviously the Kings without Fox again, so a lot of interest in DeLon Wright. We have studs Luka. Love Luka as a spend out today. Just because I don't really want to play Giannis in a 17-point spread. So I think Luka's my favorite stud here today. Some decent value guys. Like I said, Rockets are thin, so KJ Martin, Kenyon Martin, however you want to call him, he's in play today. Going to get a lot of minutes. I mean, we'll get into it. There's a lot of spots, a lot of different spots here today.
Okay. Rondo says DFS Crunch should hire Kevin Roth. He was doing like a interview with a small YouTube channel, smaller than ours actually. The video had like 16 views or something when I watched it. It was like a few months old, or like 6 or 7 months old. But he was saying how other people are trying to go for his job.
Yeah, there's one other guy who's like the other weather guy. We were actually trying to get him last year. But yeah, that they always throw shade at each other.
Those two?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's when we only had KBO, though, right?
Yeah.
We should get him for MLB. Can get him on the show. You should do a Kevin Roth interview, Chris.
I mean, we could just look. You could just look at a radar and see the same thing that they give you.
You think so? Are you calling them obsolete? That's.
I mean, not really. I mean, they obviously have better insights, but you can see exactly what they see.
But they went to school for whatever one year specialty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they can tell when like the cells are gonna grow or shrink, but just for the regular ones, you can tell yourself if you just look at the radar.
Yeah, he was also saying he loves science. Bill Nye. He wanted to be Bill Nye.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he is. Let's get into it, Chris. First up, Pels against the 76ers. Can I click this? I cannot. There we go. Excellent. So New Orleans, Chris. Josh Hart is out for them. Ingram is out for them. Alexander Walker is questionable for them. And then Stevie Adams is doubtful. Projected starters, Lonzo Ball, Bledsoe, James Johnson, Nectat, Zion, and then Willie Hernan Gomez. Is it a Hernan Gomez night tonight, Chris?
Not really, but I'm interested to see if they're going to start James Johnson or Najee Marshall for Ingram. If I had to guess, it would probably be Najee Marshall. But I mean, all of these guys get bumps with Brandon Ingram out. It's a pretty tough matchup against Philly. They're only implied to score 109, so it's not like a spot where we have to lock in these guys. But I think James Johnson provides us with really good value on both sites. He's 3.3K on DK, 3.5 on FanDuel. He's going to get more minutes here without Ingram. Should probably see, if I had to guess, 26 plus, 26 to 28. And he's always been a good point per minute. So I think with those minutes, he'll definitely be able to pay off his price tag. I mentioned Zion. Don't really need it in cash games here on this slate. He's expensive. We have other studs like Luka who are a little bit more. We have Jokic as well on DK. So I don't really need Zion in cash games, but I do like him in tournaments, especially if they can keep this game competitive. I think if Embiid ends up being ruled out, then Zion will become a better play. Obviously, Embiid's a really good defender. If he's out, it's more likely that the game is going to stay close as well. So I'm kind of interested in that news. That's going to be the other side that we talk about. But yeah, for me, for now, just going to be James Johnson on the Pels.
Okay, let's go over the 76ers. So Furkan Korkmaz is out for them. DFS Crunch favorite by far. Probably one of the favorite players here in the Discord. Embiid questionable. Projected starters, we have Benjamin Simmons, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Embiid if he is in. Please tell me, Chris, Simmons is not in play today.
He's going to be a great play if Embiid is ruled out. I have no idea what's going to happen. I probably think Embiid doesn't play here. But this is the first game of the slate, so we're kind of lucky in that regard. I think they listed him as questionable for injury management, so pretty much rest. So I don't know what they'll do. If he plays, I think he's going to be a good play on FanDuel, only 9.6K. If he's out, Simmons and Harris are going to be great plays. Dwight Howard as well. Dwight Howard's pretty expensive, though. He's 5.6 on FanDuel, so probably not going to be a lock there. But on DK, where he's 4.1, he's going to be a lock there if Embiid is out. So it all depends on the Embiid news. Hopefully we get it in 30 minutes with the injury report. But it's a really good matchup for the Sixers here against the Pelicans. They're implied to score 117, so I'm going to have a ton of interest if Embiid ends up being ruled out.
Okay. I can't get that sound of Rondo screaming the yeah. It's like stuck in my head. It's ringing. Make it stop. It's like stuck in my head right. It's so bad right now. And I have the thumbnail.
Play it one more time.
Huh?
You should play it one more time.
Oh my goodness. So we got stuck in everyone else's head as well?
He is definitely taking
threesome that triplet at that position. And we haven't seen Gasol yet, but we...
Oh my goodness. I can't get that out of my head right now. Next game up, Chris. Boston against Chicago. Celtics side first. Jaylen Brown out. Tristan Thompson probable. Robert Williams questionable. Langford probable. Projected starters: Kemba Walker, Smart, Fournier, Tatum, and Robert Williams. Tristan Thompson, I just saw him in the newspaper, Chris. I was getting some coffee at JJ Bean, and he was in the gossip column or something like that, so thought I'd update you on that. Yeah, who do you like here on the Celtics?
Yeah, so I think my favorite play here, Jaylen Brown is out, obviously. We have a pretty good matchup against the Bulls. Boston's implied to score 114. So I do like Marcus Smart a lot on FanDuel for only 6.2K. He's kind of the third guy here now without Brown. So I think the price is fair. Really good matchup. It's on national TV as well. So I do like playing him on FanDuel for 6.2. I think that's a solid play. I think you just pair him with Terry Rozier, who's also 6.2 in cash games on FanDuel. And then you have your shooting guard duo, Tatum, Walker. I think they're fine in tournaments, but I think they're priced way too high for cash games, so I don't need them there. But like I said, in tournaments, I think they're decent plays. Robert Williams, if he plays, I think he's going to be a solid play on FanDuel for 5.4, 5.9 on DK. Don't really need that. Scoring system fits him better on FanDuel as well, so he's better there. He's also cheaper, like I said, so I think Robert Williams is going to be a decent play if he plays. Even if TT plays, like Williams should still see 24 plus minutes here. Very active guy, good matchup. So I do like him for 5.4, even if Tristan Thompson is in. And yeah, that's pretty much it here on the Celtics.
Okay. Dinda here, Chris, on the weatherman meteorologist topic. He says, Anush is a weatherman. He makes it rain dollar bills.
Yeah, that's not a comment I was expecting to hear.
Me too. We also got Rainmaker too, Justin. His name is literally Rainmaker. Yeah, that Anush one, yeah, I'm with you. I wasn't expecting that one out of Dinda, but I like it. I like it a lot. Rondo here, aka Aiden, says he'll do the Rondo scream when he comes back and plays basketball. Do you think he'll make a comeback, Chris? Come out of retirement?
I'm not expecting it.
What are the odds?
Probably 50-50.
50-50. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Chicago side, Chris, Troy Brown Jr. out. Projected starters: Kobe, White, Zach LaVine, Pat Williams, Tice, and Vucevic. We got the Tice revenge narrative here, Chris. So that's something to think about. And then I think it's Zach LaVine's second game back, right?
Yeah.
So how is he looking here in the first game back? Is he on a minutes restriction today? Was he on minutes restriction last time out? What do you make of LaVine?
Yeah, he only played 27 minutes. They blew out the Hornets, so that had something to do with it. But we also got news before that game that he was going to be on a little bit of a restriction. But with him back, I have no interest in this team. Maybe Vucevic in tournaments on FanDuel for 9K. But, LaVine's a high-usage guy, takes away from everyone else, so we don't need to play Kobe White, don't need to play Thad Young. Anyone here, I'm not really interested. Maybe Vooch on FanDuel, but that's it.
Okay, that was fast. Let's go to the next one. Minnesota, Miami. Minnesota first, Chris. We have Malik Beasley out for them, Jaden McDaniels out for them, and then projected starters, Ricky Rubio. Are you wearing his t-shirt today? Player t-shirt?
No, maybe on a Ricky Rubio day, but I don't know if we're going to get one of those.
Okay. Ant-Man, Josh Okogie, Vanderbilt, and then Catman projected to start there. Who do you like here, Chris, on Minnesota? Also, Anthony Davis. He looks really nice, eh?
Anthony Davis?
Sorry, not Anthony Davis. Anthony Edwards. Anthony Davis is a glass cannon.
Yeah. Well, they started D'Lo last game, so that's kind of the big change. And then we have Jaden McDaniels out for them today. I don't know what his injury is, but that helps someone like Jared Vanderbilt a lot. I like Vando a lot on FanDuel for 3.6K at the power forward position. I think he's really good value. On DK as well, he's only 3.3. So if he's confirmed starting, I think he's going to be a great play here. He's always been solid point per minute. He's always been a solid point per minute guy. Gets a lot of rebounds, a lot of hustle stats. So I do like Jared Vanderbilt. He's probably my favorite guy here in cash games. But like I said, D'Lo has gotten the starting nod. Last game it was his first start. He played 37 minutes against the Grizzlies, and he put up 50 fantasy points. He's only 7.3 on DK, so I love that price tag. Probably going to be my tournament play over there. Cash games don't really need it, but he has all the upside in the world now that he's starting. If this game stays close, I think he could have a huge game here. So I like D'Lo's price tag a lot on DK for 7-3 in tournaments. And then on FanDuel, D'Lo's a little more expensive. Ant is almost 9K. So I don't love either of those guys. Maybe Cat for 9-8. I don't know. I'm probably just going to stick to Vando in cash games and then D'Lo in DraftKings cash.
Okay. David's asking thoughts on L Ball. Not sure if it's LaMelo or Lonzo, Chris. DK GPP. L Ball, DeLon Wright, Marvin Bagley, or DeJounte Murray.
I'd say DeLon Wright, but I think those guys are all priced a little bit different. But point per dollar, DeLon Wright is my favorite. He's probably talking about LaMelo.
Sorry, it was like a core. DraftKings tournament core, and he says it's Lonzo Ball, DeLon Wright, Bagley, and Murray.
Only guy I like there in the core would be, what's his name? DeLon Wright.
DeLon Wright, okay. Let's go over Miami, Chris. So over there, let me just switch the filter here. So Miami side, we have Jimmy Buckets questionable, Tyler Hero questionable, Oladipo out, expected to be back pretty soon. Projected starters: Kendrick Nunn, Robinson, Butler, Ariza, and Adebayo. Who do you like here, Chris, on the Heat?
Yeah, so just one guy pretty much. He's questionable right now. If he's out, then I'm going to have more interest in some other guys here. It's Jimmy Butler. We just got news that Zion is out, so hopefully I can log into my betting site this time.
You should really keep that betting site on, like open and logged in, Chris.
Yeah, that's what I did before, but we've kind of gotten slower with the news.
So you've gotten a little bit lackadaisical. You got to stay sharp, Chris.
I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I can't place them right now. It's too late. But yeah, Zion out, so James Johnson becomes a lock. Pretty much changes the entire Pelicans team. Lonzo, he's expensive. I don't know if I want to spend up for him, but he becomes a great play, so now I don't mind him in that person's core. Bledsoe, really good play as well. So we have a ton of value on the Pelicans now with Zion out. But yeah, on the Heat here, I'm gonna wait for this Butler news. If Butler plays, he's a great play on FanDuel. 9.4K going up against the Timberwolves. They're implied to score 117. Usually you don't see the Heat implied for a total this high. So Butler put up 65 fantasy points last game against the Timberwolves. So I mean, he clearly doesn't like this organization. Obviously, he spent a year there, maybe half a year. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I like him a lot on FanDuel for 9.4 if he does play. If he's out, Bam becomes a lock probably. Nunn becomes a good play. Dragic as well. So I'm gonna have to wait and see him on this situation.
Okay. Did you leave the site open, Chris? Your betting site?
Yeah, I did.
Nice. You got to do that, Chris, at the start of the show. I'll remind you next time.
Well, I usually have it open all day, but we I don't know. We've been slower with the news. Like we just haven't been getting as much. We had a stretch of a few weeks where we were just getting news all the time that mattered.
Yeah, that's true. But still, got to stay ready, Chris. Next up, Orlando, Charlotte. Let's go over the Magic first. So we have Wendell Carter Jr. out for them. And I think that's it in terms of new injuries. We also have like T. Ross, Porter, Kiki, Ennis, Carter Williams also out. Projected starters: Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, Bacon, Mo Wagner, and Bamba. Who do you like here, Chris? Looking kind of thin here.
Yeah, so I mean it's just Bamba for me. Bamba had the huge game last time out. I think 55 on FanDuel. I think on DK he had 45 just because he had 7 stocks. But he's just way too cheap on DK, especially for 6.1K. FanDuel's he's 6'9". I think that's probably where he should be. Still a really solid play. Yeah. Oh, so he had 53 on DK last time. So, I mean, regardless, Wendell Carter's out here. Bama's going to get the start. He's been playing very well. I mean, we see these kind of young guys get this opportunity at the end of seasons every year. Bama's one of these guys this year. So I think you got to play him on DK. He's a lock for me over there. Like I said, FanDuel, he's a little more expensive, so it's more of a question there. But still a super solid play. But he's going to be the only Magic guy that I'm really interested in. Maybe RJ Hampton in tournaments, maybe Mo Wagner as well. But in cash games, it's just gonna be Mo Bamba.
Has Mo Wagner played better since his brother called him out, Chris?
Yeah, he's been playing really well ever since he joined the team.
Yeah. Deshaun says Zion out. Should I go both Ball brothers on FanDuel?
I don't know if you need that on FanDuel. I mean, I think you need DeLon Wright for 7K. I think he's a really good play. Maybe Lonzo. I don't think you need LaMelo for 7.5. He's a solid play, but I'd just rather save the $500 and go down to DeLon Wright.
Okay. Charlotte side, we have Cody Martin, Gordon Hayward, Miles Bridges, Devontae Graham, all out. Projected starters, LaMelo, Scary Terry, Caleb Martin, Jalen McDaniels, and Bismack Biyombo. Anything that you like here, Chris?
I mean, not really, but there's one guy that stands out in terms of pricing on FanDuel. It's Terry Rozier for 6.2. Just way too cheap. I think I said it yesterday as well. We've seen him at 7 to 8K all season long. Now he's 6.2 for some reason. So I don't know if it's like a mispricing or what, but just a silly price tag, way too cheap. So he's going to be a lock for me over there. Obviously, Graham is still out. Hayward, Bridges, they're all out. So yeah, it's just Rozier here for me in cash games on FanDuel. Definitely not on DK for 8K. And then maybe LaMelo in tournaments on FanDuel as well for 7.5, but not in cash games.
Okay, let's go to the next game. Houston, Milwaukee. Let's go over Houston first, Chris. So Houston side, we have Sterling Brown out, DJ Wilson out, Nwaba out, Kevin Porter Jr. out, Bradley and Eric Gordon also out. DJ Augustine questionable, Kelly Olynyk questionable, Tate questionable, Christian Wood questionable, Daniel House is doubtful. That's just a huge list, Chris. That's pretty ugly. Projected starters, Armani Brooks, Jeffries, Tate, Olynyk, and Wood. 3 of those guys are also questionable still. So, yeah, what do you make of the Rockets here, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, they have to play these guys a lot of minutes, so that's why we're interested. I mean, we have to wait for the news as well. If I don't really know, like, the news is pretty important here because Olynyk, Wood, and Tate, they're the main guys here. If they're out, I don't even think they can play. I think they just instantly automatically forfeit. So we have to wait
before.
I don't know if it's ever happened, but it might happen today. But yeah, I mean, I think they're probably going to have enough guys. They'll probably just list them as available like they did with Augustine last game. But then he didn't play, so I don't know. Like KJ Martin on DK, I like his price tag a lot for now. 4.7. Even if those 3 guys I mentioned who are questionable are in, I think he's still going to get a lot of minutes. I think the price is pretty fair for him, so I do like him. Anthony Lamb on FanDuel. So yeah, I mean, Kelly Olynyk, if you look at his game log, he's just been producing like crazy. Pretty consistently over 50 ever since he's kind of joined the starting lineup, gotten 34 plus minutes. So I think he's a solid play in tournaments. No one's going to play him at all, but I think he's probably solid.
Yep. Let's go over the Bucks. So we have PJ Tucker, Chris Middleton, both probable. Axel Toupane out. Projected starters, Drew Holiday, DiVincenzo, Middleton, Giannis, and then Brolo. Yeah, so what's the spread here, Chris?
Milwaukee by 16.
Yeah, 16. So that's pretty much a blowout, right?
Yep.
So it could get even uglier there. Is this like a stay away from most of the starters here? Or, I mean, it just seems like something you wouldn't want in cash games.
Yeah. There's nothing here in cash games, but I mean, in tournaments, if you play Giannis and think it can stay close enough for him to get his full run, he's gonna smash. I mean, it's a great matchup against Houston. No one's gonna play him, but like I said, if it does stay close somehow, Giannis will smash. But other than that, I don't think there's any reason to play these guys. Maybe Bobby Portis, but he hasn't been getting much blowout run, so I don't love him, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. There's not much here for me.
Thanasis?
No, not Thanasis.
Not Thanasis. Yeah, let's move on. Cleveland, Dallas. Actually, wait. Let's not just move on that quick. But you said if this game stays close, Chris, Giannis could be the guy. In that case, you'd probably want to stack some Houston guys too, right? Like a game stack here.
Yeah, I guess so. If you're playing Giannis, you can probably, I don't know. Depends on the injury news. Like, you could probably play Wood in that case, Olynyk. I I mean, if you play both of those guys, if they're both in, no one's going to have that combo. So, yeah, it's interesting in tournaments, but yeah, I don't know. It's pretty ugly.
Okay. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Cleveland, Dallas. Let's go over Cleveland here first. So Lamar Stevens out for them. Garland also out. Projected starters: Sexton, Dotson, Coro, Kevin Love, and Jarrett Allen. Anybody here, Chris, on the Cavs that you like?
No, there's nothing here. I mean, it's just not really a team that I do like to target. Maybe later in the season, if they start resting Sexton and Garland, which I don't think they'll do, we'll have some more interest. But for now, I don't have any interest in the Cavs.
Yeah. Speaking of the Cavs, didn't Thomas T-Bay here, didn't he predict they would make it into the playoffs?
Yeah, he did. I think they had a strong start to the year, and then they kind of cooled off.
Yeah. I mean, I also thought the Raptors would make it, but it looks like the Cavs prediction is a bit more off than the Raptors one for sure. Things definitely went downhill since they started resting Drummond. They needed Drummond, Chris. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know about that.
I mean, they had a good start. Who was there at the start?
Didn't he play like 3 games for them?
He was there. Willie Hoop says, who gets the most amount of blowout time if the Bucks destroy Houston early? DiVincenzo?
I mean, Dante's not going to be there in fourth quarter blowout run. Portis is the guy that we liked earlier in the year, but he hasn't been getting blowout run. And you don't really want these other guys like Bryn Forbes, Jeff Teague, Mamadi Diakite.
I love that guy.
They're very deep. Like these guys, they're not going to play until the blowout run, so that's the problem with them.
Okay. Other half, Chris, for this Cleveland-Dallas game. Mavs, Terrell Terry out for them. Zingis out for them. Maxi Kleba also out. Projected starters: Luka Doncic, Josh Richardson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, and Willie Cauley-Stein. So Deshaun said for some reason that you are going to lock in THJ, Timothy Hardaway Jr. Why? Does he know something still?
I mean, if you look at his game log, he's been playing well, but I'm not really a big game log guy. For me, it's just one guy here. It's Luka Doncic up top. I think he's my favorite spend up on this slate, just because he's pretty easy to get to. He's 10-9 on both sites. And you're going to have a lot of salary, especially with this Pelicans value that we just got. So it's just Luka Doncic for me. I have him on my cover today. I put him there because he's my favorite spend up. He's always safe for 50 plus. This game might blow out. Dallas is projected to win by 10. So I mean, if you don't want to play him, if you want to go to a different stud like Jokic, I don't blame you. But the Mavs here are implied to score 115, so that's pretty high. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to play Luka most likely on both sites just as a spend up because we're going to have some salary to spend. But yeah, he's the guy for me here.
Nice. David Correa, Chris, he's asking and saying, Rockets have 8 guys with Kelly, Owen, Tate questionable. Would they call the game if one of them misses?
Yeah. Well, last game they had 7 guys, but they just listed DJ Augustine as available, even though he wasn't going to play. So I mean, they could just do that again.
Yeah. And then what else do we have? Dinda says Zion has fractured his ring finger, out indefinitely. Let's pull this one up, Chris.
Yeah, I'll say this is a little worse than the tooth. I think the tooth is worse than this.
No, the tooth is definitely worse because like he just needs to stop eating Sour Patch Kids. It's not that hard.
Yeah, but I mean,
brush your teeth. Like it's not that hard.
Yeah, to prevent it, but I'm saying when you have it, it's probably not a good time.
Just brush your teeth. Not that hard. But yeah, Zion, Chris. Pelicans announced today that forward Zion Williamson underwent a series of diagnostic testing. Prior to the team's departure to Philadelphia, a CT scan revealed a fractured left ring finger. He will be sidelined indefinitely. A treatment plan and timetable to his return to play will be determined upon further evaluation. So, yeah, what do you make of that, Chris?
I mean, Yeah, I don't know. Like, no Ingram, so I think it just makes me think that they're tanking.
Yeah. Okay. World King says, which game has the highest implied team total? Let's take a look here. Team total, Milwaukee.
Yeah. They're also in the highest over-under, large spread. If it blows out, that can be misleading. Like I said, if it stays close, that's why I love Giannis in tournaments.
Yeah. World King also says, imagine sitting out with a toothache, facepalm, joy emoji. That's bad. I'm with him. I'm with him on that, Chris. That is worse than the finger for sure. Come on.
Maybe.
Like, yeah. Next game, we have Denver, Utah. Let's go over the Nuggets first. Monty Morris, Barden, out for them. Zeke, Najee, questionable. Projected starters, Facundo, Capazzo, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Paul Millsap, and Jokic. So we saw Paul Millsap, Chris, in that draft class with Bargnani. Still in the league, still kicking it. So he's one of the few guys still playing. I think also with Rondo. LMA went out this year with, I think it was the heart issues. Anybody else in that draft that we still see today?
PJ Tucker, I don't really remember, but there were a few.
Yeah. Anyway, who do you like here on the Nuggets, Chris, up against the Jazz?
Yeah, so I think they're probably going to be more interesting for me on DraftKings, just because you can usually fit two studs there easier. So that for that reason, I do like Jokic. He's a center on FanDuel as well. You can only play one of them, so it's harder to get to him. But I do like using him or pairing him alongside Doncic on DK. So he's the main guy there for me in cash games. He's only 10.8K. He's the clear MVP this season, so I do like playing him here. I think it's a spot that they would get up for against the Utah Jazz, who are the first seed in the West right now. So I do have interest in Jokic on DK. Outside of him, maybe Paul Millsap. He's 4.1K on FanDuel, 3.4 on DK. He got the start last game. I think he played 25 minutes. He didn't get fourth quarter run because that game blew out. So if he did, probably would have been around 30 minutes. So I don't mind him for value, but I don't think it's going to be too necessary here now that we have this Pelicans insane value with Zion and Ingram out. So he's there if you need him. Probably sneaky in tournaments, but if I'm picking one guy, which I probably will be, it's just going to be Jokic on DK.
Okay. Hoops says all caps, Chris. He says all caps. Play Lonzo Ball with 4 exclamation marks as well. That's what it means for New Orleans.
Yeah, I like Lonzo as well. Only problem is he's 8-1 on DK, 8-2 on FanDuel, so we're getting him at a ceiling price, but yeah, he's a solid play for sure.
Yeah, because he's got to get like 40 points at 8K, right? So like at least 40 points, and then if he gets any more, that's where he'd be like an even better play. What would you say is Flores?
I mean, he's been doing it recently. So his last 6 games, last game 46, 2 games ago 30, 3 games ago 62, 4 games ago 38, 5 games ago 62 again, 6 games ago 42. So he's been doing it. He's been playing very well. But yeah, the price tag makes it a little scary, but he is a solid play for sure.
Yep. Dinda says no Chell players sit out with toothaches.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Rondo also says, he says, Dinda, that's why it's considered the best sport in the world, maybe behind soccer.
Wow, soccer, they definitely would sit out with a toothache.
Yeah, aren't soccer players like they mastered the art of the flop? They're the original masters of that. Also, I saw some flopping yesterday in the Raptors game. Fred VanVleet, Brad Beal, he did like a rip through, like this with the ball, but he didn't go towards his face. He just went up, grazed VanVleet's chin or something, and he just like falls down on the floor. Super dramatic, and it's like a 4-point game or something. Like 2 minutes left, and he's just going for the flop. Like, I don't like that. The flop didn't get called. He's just down there trying to get a call. I don't like that look. Did you see that,
Chris? Maybe he got hit. Yeah, maybe he actually got hit though.
I mean, he got hit a little bit, but just get up. Like, it's a 4-point game. Like, what's the big deal?
I don't know.
I don't like that. I don't know. Yeah, Utah, Chris. Let's go over them. So we have Conley out, D. Mitch out, Juwan Morgan out, Udoka, Azubuk, probable. Projected starters, Ingles, Royce O'Neal, Bojan Bogdanovic, George Niang, and Rudy Gobert. Anybody on the Jazz, Chris?
I mean, kind of been saying it for the past couple of weeks, ever since Conley has gone out. On FanDuel, they're always cheaper. So Ingles, Clarkson, and Bogey, I think they're all viable on FanDuel. Not sure how much you really need them here on this big slate, but they are there if you need them in tournaments. I don't mind Ingles. I don't mind Clarkson. I don't mind Bogey as well. But for me, I don't really need anyone here in cash games. Maybe Gobert in tournaments just because he's always low owned. He has a bunch of stocks upside, so he's there if you need it, but I probably don't need anything here.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Knicks against Phoenix. So this seems like a stay away game, Chris, based on the two teams playing. Knicks side first. We got Alec Burks, doubtful. Quickly, doubtful. Projected starters, Payton, Bullock, Barrett, Randall, and Noel. Thoughts on the Knicks here, Chris?
Yeah, I don't need anyone on the Knicks tonight. Maybe Randall just because he has a safe floor, but I just think there's other studs for a little bit more who have a safer floor, who have a lot more upside as well. This is a tough matchup against the Suns. They play pretty slow. They're good defensively. So I don't really need anything here, but maybe Randall because, I mean, this is a big game. The Suns are one of the top teams in the West. So maybe the Knicks are going to play their guys more minutes than usual. Maybe Randall gets 42 minutes in this game. So I don't mind him, but there's not going to be anything here that I play personally.
Okay. Phoenix side, Chris, we have Nader out, Cam Johnson out, Crowder questionable. Projected starters, Chris Paul, Booker, Bridges, Craig, and Ayton. I think we had the Chris Paul birthday narrative yesterday. Don't think they played, though. So this is the belated birthday narrative, Chris. Anything in there?
No, there's nothing here for me. Yeah, I don't want to play the Suns here.
Okay, let me load up the next one. Royal King, saw that flop too by Van Fleet. Yeah, I mean, how can you like that, Chris? Come on.
I'm not saying I like it. I'm saying maybe he actually got hit. I didn't see it.
But he didn't get hit that hard. Just get up.
I mean, you never know how hard it is. It's an elbow to the chin, I'm assuming.
I don't know about that. Willie Hoop says, Chris on FanDuel, pick one. Rozier, Smart, or Hardaway.
I think if it were me, I would pair Smart and Rozier together. If I had to pick one between the two, I'd go with Terry Rozier. He's a lock.
Okay. So next game up, San Antonio, Sacramento. Let's go over the Spurs first. So Trey Lyles out for them. Projected starters, DeJounte Murray, Vassell, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. Where does the R come from in Poeltl, Chris?
Yeah, I have no idea. That's the mystery.
Yep. Yeah, who do you like here on the Spurs?
There's not too much here for me. Maybe DeJounte Murray. We had someone talk about him earlier on. He's been playing pretty well. It's a really good matchup here against the Kings. But he's expensive. That's the problem. He's 7-8 on FanDuel. 7-8 on DK and 7-8 on FanDuel. So he's pretty expensive. DeMar, he's 8-6 on FanDuel, 8-4 on DK. So if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with DeMar. But I don't really know how much I really need these guys here. Like I said, it's a really good matchup against the Kings. They're implied to score 114, so that's a pretty high pace-up spot for the Spurs. But personally, I just don't really see the need to play these guys.
Okay, let's go over the Kings. So over there we have De'Aaron Fox out, Woodard out, Harrison Barnes doubtful, and then Chimezie Metu questionable. Projected starters, DeLon Wright, Buddy Buckets, Harkless, Marvin Bagley, and Rashawn Holmes. You like DeLon Wright today, Chris? Anybody else here that you like?
Yeah, so it's DeLon Wright for the most part. If I had to pick someone else, I think it's probably Marvin Bagley. He's been playing pretty well. On FanDuel, he's priced up at 7K, so Can't play him over there, but I think on DK where he's 5.9K, I think he's still a really solid play. He went for 50 last game, played 35 minutes, 30 real life points, 22 shots. No stocks in that game either. So, I think for 5.9K, it's still a super fair price tag for someone like Marvin Bagley on DraftKings. So I don't mind that in cash games. But yeah, like you said, the main guy for me is going to be DeLon Wright. He's 7K on FanDuel, 6.8 on DraftKings. So he's the main guy here. Like, you've seen it every season, pretty much that he's been in the league. At the end of the year, the teams that he's on usually start to tank, and he usually gets the starting job. Always seems to get 5+ stocks per game somehow in his starts. So I mean, that's pretty crazy. But I think he's super solid. He's very active, does everything. So DeLon Wright's my favorite guy here.
Is Marvin Bagley starting to look like the lottery pick he was supposed to be, Chris?
Yeah, we said it before, or I think I said it last time. Ever since coming back from his injury, he's looked a lot better, just more aggressive. Just looks to be in the right headspace.
So you think he has what it takes to be a good... Like, do you think he has more upside?
I don't know about upside. Like, I don't know if he's going to turn out to be good or anything like that, but he looks fine right now.
Okay. 2018 draft is pretty good. Much better than that 2006 draft that the Raptors had to get Bargnani at the number 1 draft pick. That was an ugly draft. So, yeah. Last game of the slate, Chris. Lakers back-to-back for them against Portland. We'll go over LA first. So we got Dennis Schroeder out for them. THT, Horton Tucker out. LeBron James also out. KCP, Marc Gasol, Kyle Kuzma, and then AD all marked with the probable tag, and Caruso with the questionable tag. Projected starters: Caruso, KCP, Kuzma, AD, and my boy Andre Drummond. What do you make of the Lakers here, Chris, going up against Portland?
Yeah, so some injuries here. THT is out. He was out yesterday as well, so that bumped Caruso up quite a bit. So I don't mind Caruso here. He's questionable, but his price tag on DK is super cheap. 4K for him. I like that price tag a lot. So if I'm playing one of these guys, it's going to be Alex Caruso here on DK for 4K. But obviously we'll have to keep an eye out for that news because he's questionable. But it is a good matchup here against Portland. So he's probably going to be my favorite guy in cash games here. If you were playing tournaments, maybe AD, maybe Kuzma. I think Kuzma's pretty cheap on FanDuel, 5.5K. Don't mind that price tag. But I mean, he's very volatile, so that's the problem with Kuzma. But like I said, it's a good matchup against the Blazers, so these guys are viable in tournaments.
Okay. Willie Hoops, Chris, question, not related to this game. He says, who's your top point guard value pick on FanDuel? And then his suggestion is Armani Brooks.
Well, Armani Brooks isn't a point guard on FanDuel, so that's... Is he? I don't think he's a point guard. I think he's shooting guard. Yeah, Armani Brooks is shooting guard on FanDuel, so... probably Caruso as well for 5K, but I mean, I'm playing DeLon right there for 7K. I think it's a spend-up spot. We also have Lonzo there now with the Pelicans news that we got, so... I think you get your value from James Johnson, who's an absolute lock at power forward for the minimum. You have Najee Marshall for 4-1 or 4-3 at small forward, so I think you got to play him as well. And then you have Rozier and Smart, who are too cheap at shooting guard. So if you play those guys, if you plug them in, you're going to have a lot of salary to spend up at point guard.
If you want a cheap one, sorting it by points per 1K in our optimizer, Chris, Elfrid Payton, 3.6.
Yeah, there's just no way that I play Elfrid Payton.
Yeah, I'm guessing maybe tournaments? No? Still no way?
He plays like 16, 17 minutes per night. He's really good point per minute, but he just doesn't get the minutes. So he's going to get you like 16 to 20 fantasy points, but nothing more than that unless his minutes go up for some reason, which isn't really going to happen, I don't think. But I mean, at the same time, Quickly is out, Burks is out. Didn't mention that when I talked about the Knicks. So, I mean, maybe he's going to get 25 plus minutes here. It's a revenge game for him. So, I don't know, maybe.
Okay. Let's go over Portland. Last team to go through, Chris. We have Norm Powell, marked as probable. Projected starters: Lillard, McCollum, Powell, Rocco, and Youssef. Nurkic, who do you like there?
No one here that really interests me. I don't know. They're pretty healthy. Dame, CJ, Nurkic, they're all playing, so usually don't have much interest in them, especially in a matchup against the Lakers. I don't love that matchup, but they're still implied to score 115, which is not too low. So if you want to play them, this game is also on national TV, so maybe Dame in that narrative, but I'm not going to play any Blazers, most likely.
Okay. Let's go over the 3 key plays. Willie says, it's a nice comment, Chris, for you. He says, logical and awesome critique on value on FanDuel. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, no problem.
Nice, no problem. Let's go over the 3 pillars, Chris. 3 key plays. What's another one we used to have before?
I don't know. We need Trigga in here for that.
Yeah, he's got all the names for those. First up, overall play of the day, cash tournaments. Just your favorite guy, safest guy for today's slate. Who is your overall play of the day on FanDuel?
So I'm going to go with a cheaper guy here. I'm going to go with Terry Rozier for 6.2K.
Okay. What about value?
Value, minimum price, James Johnson. Just an easy play with Zion and Ingram both out.
Neck tap. Tournament play of the day on FanDuel. Who do you have there, Chris?
So I mentioned this guy earlier when I went over the Timberwolves. He was more of a DK play, but I mean, for 7-8 on FanDuel, I'm still fine with him. He's starting now, so it's D'Lo. He has a ton of upside. I mean, just the way he plays, he has the ball in his hands a lot, gets a lot of assists, scores the ball well. If his shot is falling, he has like 40, 50 real-life point upside. So, I'll say D'Lo.
Okay. And then Deshaun here, he says Rondae Hollis-Jefferson is going to be the best value play tonight. He is going to win 6th man of the year.
Rondae, is this like 2017?
He's sounding a bit. Deshaun's sounding like Trigga today. Old school Trigga. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall play, Chris, DK. Overall play of the day there. Who do you have?
On DK, so Rozier is 8K here, so that's way too expensive for someone like Terry Rozier. I'll go with Mo Bamba for 6-1.
Overall play of the day?
Yep.
Nice. What about value play?
Value play, it's going to be James Johnson once again. Just easy lock. He's only 3-3 here, so I love him.
Okay, and then tournament play of the day. Who do you have?
Tournament play, I'll go with D'Lo as well. He's cheaper here on DK, so this is actually where I like him more. No one's going to play him. I feel like they never do. I'll say D'Lo.
Okay. Let's go over your cores. FanDuel first. DeLon Wright, Scary Terry, neck tap. You kind of went over these already with the 3 plays here. DeLon Wright, Chris, why do you like him so much?
So he's 7K. He gets a ton of stocks whenever he gets minutes. He's going to get minutes here with Fox and Halliburton out. So, he's put up 50 plus in each of his last 2 starts. So, I'm not expecting 50, but for 7K, I think he's still too cheap.
Okay, which one do you want to go over here?
First 2.
Christian Wood, is that a risky one?
Not if he plays, because we also got news that Giannis is probable now with an illness. So that's a new injury that we didn't have earlier. So there's a chance that Giannis sits here. But like we said, the Rockets, they have 7 guys who are going to most likely play. So if Wood is in, he's questionable right now. But if he's in, he should be fine. But I'm going to go with the other side here regardless. So I'll go over the same people here first. So we have DeLon Wright, locked him in. Smart, 6'2". No Jaylen Brown. Pretty good matchup against the Bulls. Kind of a reduced price tag on him. So I like him for 6'2" here. Rozier, my favorite play here on FanDuel. Then at small forward, Jimmy Butler is questionable. If he does play, it's a really good matchup against the Timberwolves. Only 9.4K, so I like him a lot if he does end up playing. Najee Marshall here for 4-3. Just a super solid play with the guys they're missing. Same as James Johnson. locked him in, and then Bamba for 6-9. He's a solid play. And then 2v2 here, Doncic and Martin versus Murray and Wood. This one's pretty easy. I always like stars and scrubs. Don't really need DeJounte Murray for 7-8. He's a solid play, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get that. I like the Luka side a lot more. So yeah, I like the first side.
Okay. Let's do some DraftKings stuff, Chris. David Cruz asking Najee Love.
Yeah, I like Najee a lot, both sides.
Nice. So DK, you have Doncic as a core, Bamba and Nectat also as a core. So Doncic here, Chris. I think you didn't have him as a core on FanDuel. Why do you like him here more on DK?
It's just easier to spend up for guys here on DK. We have a ton of value guys, ton of value pieces. So yeah, I like Luka here.
Okay. And then first one has David Kriya's boy Najee. Which ones do you want to go over?
Yeah, first two.
Okay.
So we have Luka in both. Obviously, he was in the core. James Johnson as well. KJ Martin as well. Mo Bamba as well. Then we have Jokic. Talked about him. It's pretty easy to get two studs here on DK, so I like pairing him with Luka. And then 3v3, Najee, Caruso, and Bagley just 2v2. Just Najee and Bagley versus DeLon Wright and Paul Millsap. So Caruso is in both lineups. He's 4K. He's questionable, but they're missing their guards in THT. LeBron's obviously still out, so Caruso has been starting. Schroeder's out as well. So for 4K, I think Schroeder is a great play here against the Blazers. He's questionable, but I think he ends up playing, so I'm fine locking him in. And then, yeah, 2v2, just another obvious side for me with the first one. Najee Marshall for 4-1 is way too cheap here. Expect him to get the start with Ingram and Zion both out. Should probably play 36-plus minutes here. Always been this season he's been a solid point per minute guy, so he's not an exercise guy. So I do like the first side a lot more with Najee Marshall and Bagley. But it doesn't get us DeLon Wright, so that's the only thing I don't love here. Maybe there's going to be another build later with DeLon Wright somehow, but for now I like the first side here.
Okay. Should we go over the single game slate here for Royal King, Chris? Which one?
Yeah, we can look at the late night one.
Orange Julius and it's the Phoenix one though. We don't like Phoenix ones, Chris.
Yeah, it's okay. This is probably the biggest one of the slate. But yeah, Randall at the top. You can make a case for Booker. You can make a case for Chris Paul, who's not popping up in any of these. Ayton as well. But I think Randall's my favorite guy here if you're trying to find an optimal team. But obviously, a lot of people will land on the same team here. I feel like they always do on FanDuel. That's why I don't love playing these for cash games. But in tournaments, I think you can go with Booker. You can go with Chris Paul at the MVP and just make yourself different by doing that.
I think so too. Hoops is saying, how do you think Clarkson will do tonight? FanDuel points, national TV game, narrative, and he also had a good last game.
I don't think it's a national TV game. I think the national TV games are the Celtics Bulls and then Lakers versus Blazers. Yeah, that's correct. So it's not a national TV game, but it is a big matchup against the Nuggets, obviously, two of the top teams in the West. So yeah, I don't mind Clarkson. I like him more on FanDuel. Like I said earlier, he's 7.2K, so it's not a super cheap price tag for him. I don't mind it in tournaments. Obviously, we know the upside he has, but in cash games, I don't think you really need it when you have Smart and Rozier there.
Okay. And then for the national TV games, Chris, do the players know, do they look at the TV schedule and see when it's being aired, or do you walk into the stadium and you notice more cameras, or you notice the national TV presence there? Or is it more so the first one where they just look at the TV schedule or their game schedule and see it's national?
You definitely know. It's they all dress up for these games. It's like a big show, so it's like a big matchup. So yeah, I think I believe in the national TV narrative a little bit. I think that players do get a few more minutes in these games. I also think that they get up for these games a little more. If just put yourself in their shoes, if you had like the national TV, ESPN, all the eyes on you instead of like just local coverage, I think that it makes a little bit of a difference.
Is that why no one wants to play for the Raptors?
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go do some housekeeping. First up, dfscrunch.com, guys. Check it out if you haven't tried us out. So that's our website here, our optimizer that we've been using here, projections, ownership, fantasy point projections, all that sort of stuff. So check it out, dfscrunch.com. If you're a new member, you haven't been with us before, you'll get a free 3-day trial automatically applied when you create your account. So to get that trial, you do not need a coupon code. You don't need any special link. You just go on the site, set up your account, and then you won't be charged until after 3 days. So 72 hours from the moment you sign up. So pretty straightforward. More than welcome to cancel before then, but try it out for free. See what it's all about and have some fun with that. It's a Friday, so it's a good day to do it. Always one of the better days because we have UFC action. We have a big slate here today. Lots of smaller slates as well today. I think like 10 plus on DraftKings. I think around 8 on FanDuel, 6, 8, 7 or something like that on FanDuel. So lots of action. What do we have this weekend, Chris?
NASCAR, MMA, NBA, NHL, MLB. Same as always.
Yeah, so lots of stuff. Check it out. Completely free during the trial. No restrictions. So you get full access to all of that stuff that we just mentioned. Also our Discord. So that's a great place to come hang out, ask questions about the different sports. Maybe some questions about our optimizer settings, favorite settings that some people have, users have, our members have. I don't know, 2v2s, things like that. So Discord is the place to hang out. Hang out with the community, so it's a solid place to be. So you get full access to that as well during the trial. So check that out. And then other thing, YouTube stuff, guys. Before you go, be sure to hit the thumbs up. It helps us grow, so we do appreciate that. Make sure you're subscribed as well with the bell button clicked and the all text selected. That makes it a bit easier for you to find our show. But it's pretty straightforward. 2.5 hours every single day, weekends included. So we'll be doing it tomorrow and Sunday as well. It's always 2.5 hours before the main slate, so be sure to come back, get your slate overview out of the way here with us, get your questions answered, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, YouTube stuff, website stuff out of the way. I think World King wants to go over one more slate here, Boston, Chicago, so we'll do that as well. Let's see what we have here. Let's see, yeah. So this one looks more interesting to me, Chris. Think so sorry, Zach LaVine, Chris, he was on it was a blowout, right? But is he on a restriction?
I think so. I think they said they were gonna play him in shorter stints last game. I don't think they've said anything this game though.
Got it. So Tatum's popping as the favorite MVP, some Vucevic, 0 LaVine, even at the star. I don't think we have any Zach LaVine. He's probably priced up pretty high and not projected too well, but what do you think of this slate here, Chris?
Yeah, I can't fade Tatum at MVP. No Jaylen Brown, he's the clear guy for me there. Vucevic, the clear second guy for me. So yeah, it's kind of tough to fade these guys here. I don't know.
Okay. Anything else, Chris?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, Dinda here says, let's watch this one more time, Chris. He says, great stuff, guys. Yeah. Can you do it, Chris?
He is definitely
No, I can't do it.
Threesome, that triplet at that position. And we haven't seen Gasol yet, but we plan to.
Do you think he's been doing that for a while?
Probably.
Oh my god. That's good. We also have like the nice one where he tries to trip someone when he's like stretching his leg. When he had his like broken foot. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
He's effective on and off the court, Chris. Has a good impact for both teams. So that's Rondo. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it as always. Appreciate all the questions here. We'll be in the Discord, so if you guys have more questions, come hang out there. Good luck today, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. Anything from you, Chris? Last words. You get the last words today.
Hopefully everyone has a good slate here. I'm definitely excited for it.
Nice. I'm excited for it as well. See you guys all tomorrow.